How are you doing today? So today I'll be telling you the story of Joe Low. Joe Low is a Malaysian guy who stole around $4 billion to $5 billion. He was able to do this by help of a fund, and also a person also was in the government who helped him to steal from the Malaysian people. So I'll be telling you how he was able to scam a whole country and how he got to spend all this money that he was able to steal. And also this person, some of the movies, one of the movies which he put his money into it, maybe you have watched it. One of that movie is called Wolf of the Wall Street. And this movie, I watched it around 2018, 2019, and it was a very good movie till recently. And also I came to learn that that movie was funded by this person who had stole from the Malaysian government called Jolo. And this movie was funded because the people who were directing the movie didn't know where these funds were coming out from. And also this person had already shown his prowess in money, and also it was just a good investment because all other companies which wanted to the movie of Wall Street wanted to be invested in, all the companies didn't want to invest, but this person decided to invest. And investing in this movie, it led to many success, and one of the success was Leonardo DiCaprio, which was the main role, and also the actor was able to win a Grammys award because of this movie. And this movie is one of the best movies. It is a top notch. It is a movie which you can see more than 3 times. So I'll tell you the story of Jolo and how he started his empire and his dynasty, and how he started acquiring a large amount of wealth. So Jolo was born in the country of Malaysia, and one thing, Jolo had a feeling that he wanted to be great and he will be great. But the thing which Jolo knew, and also knew that if he used this particular type of method, it will be good for him. He mainly used the method called "it is not how much you know, but who you know." If you know great people, you will be able to be successful in life, and success will come easily than knowing too much. So Jolo, since from a young boy, decided to imprint how many people he knew and the people around him, the company and its weight carried around him, to influence his future and also to influence him in a better place. So Jolo, what he did since he was in a high school, he used to chill out with prominent people of high school, sons of billionaires, and also sons of people in the parliament. Also, he used to have rich friends. So that was particularly his lifestyle. And one thing about Jolo, he didn't come from a rich family. Most of the things which he did to attract these rich people and also rich families, he pretended to be one of them. So pretending to be one of them, those families got to trust him, and also trusting him, they got to put him as a close family. And one thing Jolo did and also made him come on top, he used to outshine the rich families. Although he wasn't rich, but he used to do things which would show his prowess and show that he was richer than the other rich families. So it was also an irony for him. So it put him on the top bar, and also people started talking about this particular boy since he was in high school. So what he usually did, he used to hire a yacht. You could hire a yacht and go for a party, and after partying in that yacht, you will pay later to the owner of the yacht. But Jolo would lie that the yacht was his. So when he used to invite the family, his friends, and also the rich people into the yacht for the party, the people knew that this yacht is for Jolo. But Jolo had just hired that particular yacht for just let's say 2 days or 4 days. He used to hire them for just for a short period of time, so he could close the eyes for the rich people to know that Jolo was one of them. And also there's another story which Jolo did. He hired a particular hotel, and after hiring the particular hotel, he made a party over there. Later on, he had debts to pay for that particular hotel. But although he had debts to pay, he had already had his fun, and his purpose or to popularize his name had already come through. And many rich people, his parties were just not like the normal parties. They were extravagant parties, and they were the best parties around that area. So people knew Jolo for his parties and how his lifestyle also. There is another time where he had a letterhead for the Malaysian embassy, and also mailed a particular club in the Malaysian embassy, uh, pretending to be a Malaysian embassy, and told that particular club that there's some particular boys who are coming to that club, and that club and those boys are for the royal family. So treat them well, and also favor them, and also put for them a table in the VIP. So when that club got that particular letter, they also, I believe that the letter was from the Malaysian embassy, and they did what the letter said. They held up a VIP spot for Jolo and also his friend. And also, this is something that Jolo had told his friends, that he has connections everywhere, be it the Malaysian embassy, be it anywhere, be it the club. He had connections everywhere. So Jolo, when he was starting, he used to do things that would shock his friends, and also his friends being shocked, they also believed even more that Jolo was a very important person. So that night they went to that particular club, and going to that particular club, they had fun. And also that club, the VIP section, used to be able to interact with politicians, you interact with sports members, you interact with the elites of that particular country, and also you interact with football players. So it was also an investment for them later on. So later on is when Jolo was managed to go to university in the United States, and the same thing which he used to do in the Malaysian country, he went to it to do the same thing in the United States. So there in the United States, he used to hire a car. And hiring a car, he used to hire a particular car called, I think it is a convertible car. And hiring this convertible car, many people used to think that Jolo owns this particular car, but it was a hired car for Jolo. So Jolo used to go to school with that particular car, and he was able to convince many elites in that particular school that he is one of them. And also he continued throwing more parties, and also engaging also with elites, and also interacting with them also. So there's one particular party he did. There was a particular place where he hired the biggest party at that particular high school in United States. So at that party, he hired the grounds. And after hiring the grounds, he had done a lease agreement with the people of the party. So he was to pay the next day, and also they had also agreed on what amount of money he would come and pay them. So the party was successful. High elites people were invited into that particular party, and also many people came to that party, and also beat footballers of the high school members. And also remember that university was also people from other countries like the UAE, Dubai had also they are also schooling. So used to be taught by used to go to school by also daughters and sons of prominent people in the whole world. So he was able to interact with them, and also he used to lie that he was among the royal family of Malaysia. And so people believed him because how he used to carry himself, and also he was seen with big people and also elites, and also how he threw big parties, and also the type of cars he used to drive. So Jolo put himself in a position where he was respected. And also one thing, the whole news spreaded in the whole university that this particular student is the cool kids. He chills with the cool kids, and also big students know him. So Jolo became famous, and also people knew that this person was automatically rich. So Jolo started his campaign for money laundering and also stealing money from the Malaysian government when he finished high school. So when he finished high school, one thing, he was a friend to the step the he was a, his friend was the stepson to the Malaysian prime minister, who was Najib. So but that time Najib wasn't the prime minister of Malaysia, and being the prime minister of Malaysia, you will be the highest person and also the commander in chief of the whole country. You will be the highest person in that particular country. So being knowing the stepson of Najib, this is one thing that came into handy by knowing people and also connection. So there was a project which was done by Najib where it was something like it was a fund where people would put their money inside the fund, and after putting the money inside the fund, that particular fund was able to build buildings and also do development in the name of people. So Najib was looking for somebody to be able to invest in this particular place and also this fund. But so when he knew had about this news of Najib, at that time wasn't fully the president of Malaysia, about his idea, Jolo decided to go and approach the stepson and tell him that he has an idea, and also his connections will help the stepdad to also further his empire and also acquire a lot of money from, be it Saudi Arabia, be it any place, he will be able to acquire a lot of money. So the stepson for Najib went to the father and approached him, and the father was able to hire Jolo as the chairman of that particular farm. It was called 1MDB. It was called 1MDB. It sounds familiar by that movie production for 1MDB. IMDb. So for Jolo is 1MDB. So placing that one with I, it's almost familiar. So it will look like it's a big company, but it was a small company which was in Malaysia, not in the United States. So Jolo was able to source funds from his connection, having connections in the Saudi Arabia, also be it Dubai. People, also investors, came into that particular country and also were able to invest in that particular company. So where Jolo started acquiring money and also pushing money to his own accounts, it is later in the years when it was around 1.3 billion was deposited in the account of the Malaysian 1MDB account, where Jolo took $700 million and deposited into his own account, which was in Switzerland. So after depositing it in his own account, which was in Switzerland, the other money, he used it for some development, and also he used that money to fund the president of that time, Najib, to become the president of Malaysia. After funding him to become the president of Malaysia, it's now when the whole company now grew bigger, and also now many people now started believing in it, and also it started also solidizing its things. And also one thing, Jolo had acquired trust by Najib for having connected many people to be able to invest in this particular company. So Jolo, having that amount of money into his account, he went to the United States, where he was able to do parties, and he held parties like no other person has ever held parties like that. So Jolo, there was another time where it said that he bought a particular bottle of champagne for $2 million. He bidded for that particular bottle of just one single bottle of champagne. He paid $2 million. So Jolo was very extravagant in how he was using his money. So there was another time he was also putting parties after parties, and also it was said between the year of 2009 to the year of 2010, he used around 100 million or 75 million at once. That particular used around 75 million to 100 million in one particular year. Even it wasn't fully a year, it was less than a year. He used that particular money in throwing parties, also hiring stars. In his parties, he used to hire famous Hollywood stars to come, and one single night they will be paid around $100,000 to attend that particular party. So Jolo was doing so much, and also doing so much, many people were wondering, who is this person spending a lot of money? Then people started asking, he might be a royal family, or he might be dealing with arms deal, because no one was ever seen spending so much money like that, because that the money that he was spending, it was so extravagant. He also was hanging around with elites of the Hollywood celebrities, be it Leonardo Capri, many celebrities. He used to hang with them and also do parties with them. His parties were the top-notch parties, and many people will come to his parties, be given free money, and also used to go to nightclubs and also spend their money. So the incident where he was able to fund the movie of The Wolf of the Wall Street is when Jolo was looking for a particular company that will help him invest the money which he had stolen, so that he could also have a legitimate business where he could run it, and also will be able to return back into profits. So Jolo now decided to have a particular filming company, where that filming company was able to fund the Wolf of the Wall Street, because the Wolf of the Wall Street at that time, all production companies had refused to fund that particular company, and they were requiring around $100 million to fund that movie. But all the companies are backing out and saying it will be a risk for us to invest in this particular movie. And what about if it be a flop into the industry? So Jolo went and took that opportunity and was able to fund that particular movie. And it is so ironical, because that particular movie talks about somebody who was a Wolf of the Wall Street, was also very extravagant, throwing parties, and also he didn't acquire his money very well. And the same person who funded that movie was living like the same lifestyle the person in the main character of that movie was being talked about. So Jolo being able to fund that movie, and also he was mentioned in many Grammys, where Leonardo Capri was able to thank Jolo in one of the appreciation, and said that if it wasn't for him, that movie of Wolf of the Wall Street would not have been made. So Leonardo Caprio, and also he also was known by the Hollywood people, and also Hollywood people started asking themselves, where does this person get all this money? How can somebody spend a lot of money in one single night? He used to hire, be it helicopters, he used to hire the same way he used to behave in high school, but right now he had the money. So he used to do things with that money that will also attract people. And one thing people used to say with his parties, that Jolo, his parties weren't so alive. It was like a party where a person was just putting up a mask to hide his face, because he himself wasn't having fun. He just wanted to see people having fun. He used to sit in the backlight, not like many people who put parties and also take part into inside the parties. But Jolo was sitting back and just watching the parties. He didn't want to involve himself inside the party. He wasn't partying himself. So many people were saying that he did this, it was all in vain, because it was just a cover up for who he was. That wasn't his real lifestyle. And many people were questioning that, how can somebody spend that large amount of money and feel nothing? Then that money it isn't real money, or it has been acquired by means which were not proper means. If it was true hard work money, he wouldn't be spending that money like how he was spending it. So Jolo started going a little bit broke, and decided, for me to fund my future of opening more companies so that they could return my profits, he then needed to go back to Malaysia and do more deals where he will able to siphon more money to inside his company, and also have more money, acquire more money. So Jolo, at that time, he needed fast money. This money of investing was taking a lot of time, and also he needed fast money, which will come very fast, and also he will be able to spend it because that was his career and that was his lifestyle. So his lifestyle was wanting because people were calling him and asking him what where do we go for a party. So he wanted to keep up with the lifestyle which he had created. So what he did, he did a he did a partnership with a company. I think it is called Gold Sharks. Doing a partnership with a company called Gold Sharks. At that time, people didn't want to invest in the one MDB, and one MDB couldn't be able to sell bonds because it wasn't its credit score wasn't the best credit score. So selling bonds was not people didn't want to associate bonds with them. So what they did, they were able to partner with a serious company, which was Gold Shark. And also after partnering with Gold Shark, they were able to sell at least 3 billion bonds. They were able to sell 3 billion bonds. After selling 3 billion bonds, they were able to Jolos siphon that some of that money to his offshore accounts in Switzerland, and that other money he allocated for that particular project. And also later on in the years, he was able to also siphon more another, I think it was 3 to 4 billion also more money. And also that money, also some of it he put it in his offshore accounts. And one thing that helped Jolo put money into his offshore accounts is without any trace or any questions by the foreign governments of Switzerland and also governments of the United States, because it's where he used to operate and also spend his money, is one thing because Jolo used to make companies similar to he used to make bank accounts similar to the names of big companies like BlackRock. So if you wanted to make, just imagine any type of uh, company inside your country which you know. So that company, any type of company that you know, be it Apple, be it Samsung, any company in your particular country which is the biggest company. So in the United States, one of the company which he used to make with it is a company called BlackRock. So you could take a big company's name like BlackRock and say BlackRock, Apple investment, Samsung investment, Saudi Arabia Investment Company Limited. So that first name having a big name, the bankers and also people in the bank couldn't suspect easily because it was a big company already. Then this must be one of their investments. So Jolo was able to hide his accounts transaction by this, and this weren't red flag to be transactions which were illegal, because it was these companies were already known. So people knew, and also the bank people knew that it was one of those big companies accounts. So the large amount of money being transacted into that account, it didn't affect them completely, and it didn't raise a red flag to them. So Jolo was able to get away with this by doing that. And many things also he did. He also done also many transactions where he used to layer up after transferring to this particular bank account. He used to take it to another bank account and take it also into another bank account, so that large trail will lead into confusion and not the funds will be known, because you could send to this bank account, then send it back, then send to another bank account, then send it to this. So the transaction and also the way will be long and it will be confusing. And also one of the things which also helped him to launder this money is he was a government officials, and many government accounts are not scrutinized completely. They aren't looked because many people know this is an official account for the government. So any transaction happening, it will just be labeled as the government transaction. So later in the days when now the after Jolo stealing that large amount of money, the press also started having cautions. And one thing Jolo used to fund also, and also used to give gifts to the wife of the that time Prime Minister Najib. So in 2016 is when a whistleblower was able to signal out and also leak emails which were taking place of this particular company, which was known to help also and to develop Malaysia, but it was transferring its funds to other countries where that fund will be go into individual pockets. So the people of Malaysia were able to become aware and also started protesting in the streets, and that's how the Prime Minister of Malaysia was able to be sent out. And after being sent out of office, he was also arraigned into anti-corruption, and also his accounts were investigated. At that time, Jolod had took that opportunity and invaded that country and was able to run away. Right now, no one knows where he is. He's just spending his money slowly. Although he's spending his money, right now he has no source of income, and that lavish lifestyle of his, it has been cut short, and he's now not living the life which he used to live. He's living a life of solitary, and also he's playing at an underground level, because if he just does anything which will alert the officials, the official will be able to catch him. And also because there's a case undergoing in Malaysia of those funds which he stole. So, and also all these funds which were being stolen, the people of Malaysia now have to pay that debt for just one particular person who was able to steal all that money. So people of Malaysia went to the street and started protesting against that time Prime Minister. The police did an investigation inside the Prime Minister's house. After doing the investigation over there, they found goods around worth 427 million worth of goods, be it jewelry, be it cash. They found it in the Prime Minister of Malaysia. So he was jailed for 12 years, although he was jailed for 12 years, he is also a member of the Royal of Arms of Malaysia, and also he has a say also in Malaysia. So that's the story of Jolo, the man who stole from a country, and also was one of the most extravagant spenders of money. And one thing which was made him more better than the other spenders. Many people are rich because they have money which is according to stocks, according to companies. But Jolo, all this money which was estimated to be around $4 billion to $3 billion, which he stole, was all physical cash. So it wasn't any company or any stocks. It was just physical cash. He would spend it physically. He had the money hand to hand. So spending all this money, and also he also was able to do a lot of things, inspired movies for which he created, which it was The Wolf of the Wall Street. And also due to that movie, at least we have watched it and also had fun, although he stole from the Malaysian people. So that's the story of Jolo, and I hope you like this video. Please watch out for the next video and please subscribe. And I say thank you till we see you next time.